Why is India banning sugar exports?
So you've got, India is the number two sugar producer in the world. Number one is Brazil. And right now, India is facing a situation, particularly with its weather patterns and with obviously global commodity uncertainty as well. There's a lot of countries right now that are facing food insecurity. And it feels like it's a situation where countries are beginning to take a look at exactly how much they're producing and begin to limit and restrict those exports to make sure they've got enough for themselves and then enough to make sure that they are able to export to friends and allies.
So they're trying to ban exports to try to protect their domestic supply, but will it impact Americans?
I don't think it'll impact Americans as much. The United States, in particular, we have a very restrictive sugar import regime. Sugar is a highly protected, heavily tariffed industry here in the U.S. You can only import in a few tranches per year, so it won't impact us quite as much.
We're facing a possible food shortage right now. Do you see food prices for Americans to continue to go up? Any idea for how long?
Yeah, I mean, it's a durable situation. Here in the United States, are really our two staple crops as far as a lot of food ingredients are corn and soybeans. The refining of those and those products go into a lot of different things. A corn mill could conceivably produce anywhere from 20 to 30 different items, and not just high fructose corn syrup, but different sorts of additives like xanthan gum or monosodium glutamate that go into food production. Soybeans produce even greater variety of products from. And so shortages of those certainly will see an impact, because they're hard to replace in the food processing formulas. Corn and soybean production, both very delayed right now in the U.S. We're also looking at a shortage of wheat. Here in the U.S., I would anticipate prices to go up. And that'll probably extend into next year as well. We're talking about serious shortages of diesel, certainly for the next 18 to 24 months. An awful lot of disruption, whether it's on the grains and oilseed side or on the meat side.
Now, we're talking about a shortage in the US, but what about globally? Are we facing a global food shortage?
We're facing, to some extent, a shortage, but certainly the issue is almost as much of dislocation of available supplies. Right now, Ukraine is not able to export the significant amount of old crop that it has in storage. Due to the Russian invasion. Russia likewise is not able to get its own materials out of the Black Sea region because not near as many people are buying Russian product as they were. So we've got that issue, but then you've got Brazil is facing some potential issues with their crop yields for both their second season corn as well as their current plantings. And then we've got the United States, and then you've got China as well that has really begun restricting exports of certain ingredients, like fertilizers, for example. So your major sort of breadbasket regions of the world that produce a lot of the exportable commodities that goes to countries that can't feed themselves, or they don't have enough arable land to feed themselves, they're facing issues.
Should we be worried about it? How serious is it?
Here in the United States, we shouldn't be worried about it as much. We will have plenty of food. It will be abundant, the same as it always is. It will just be a lot more expensive relative to what we've been used to.
This shortage, countries have reacted to it. Dozens are banning exports. Do you see that number going up?
Yeah, I think so. In times of uncertainty, protectionism and putting the country first typically is the playbook that you'll see politicians use. Here in the U.S., we do still have enough crops that we're exporting to China and other places. But in other countries, if they even have the material, they could potentially export. You're certainly going to see them follow, I think, the path that India has followed with their wheat and with their sugar, which is to make sure they have enough supplies domestically for consumers before they worry about exports.
Ross Kennedy, Fortis Analysis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dom.